Today, I wanted to describe some exciting new findings about how muscle can directly be used to burn fat, or rather increase fat metabolism through a process called lipolysis. So first of all, most people can appreciate that we have bones, tendons, ligaments, and we have muscles. And we have fat. And no matter how high or low your body fat percentage might be, a good deal of that fat resides just below the skin, so-called subcutaneous fat. I've also shown that fat here. You have a bunch of fat cells beneath your skin, and they have a bunch of layers of other tissues that take you right down to your intestines and other organs of the body. Well, it's pretty well appreciated that muscle is a metabolically demanding tissue. It requires calories just at rest, and if you use that muscle, it also burns calories, of course. The more muscle you have, the higher your daily metabolic needs, the more food you need to consume in order to just maintain your body weight. And it's an absolute truth that calories in and calories out determines whether or not you will gain or lose weight. So if you expend or burn more calories than you ingest, you will lose weight, and some percentage of that will come from body fat. High load resistance training also has a direct molecular effect on lipolysis. And in fact, high load resistance training can increase the amount of energy burned in a caloric deficit by altering a particular molecular pathway. So here's how it works. Little vesicles, little bubbles, are actually released from the muscle. And when they leave the muscle, they carry with them a cargo from the muscle. So they actually take something from the muscle and travel to the fat cell to have a very specific effect on the fat cell. What is that cargo? Well, the cargo is what's called a microRNA. MicroRNAs are a form of RNA that's single-stranded and has the effect of altering the expression of other genes and proteins. Engage in high-load resistance training. Your muscles release little vesicles, and those vesicles contain a microRNA called miR1, microRNA 1. miR1 travels to fat cells, goes into those fat cells, and alters a molecular pathway. It actually shuts down the activity of one particular protein, TFAT, 2-alpha, and then another one called CETP alpha. Okay, you don't need to know these names. And those have the net effect of increasing the amount of what's called the beta-3 adrenergic receptor. The beta-3 adrenergic receptor is very important. It's at the surface of fat cells, and it makes those cells more susceptible to releasing their contents and burning those contents for energy in the presence of epinephrine, adrenaline. So none of this violates the calories in, calories out principle. But what this study nicely shows is that the release of these microRNAs from muscle traveling to fat makes it such that a greater percentage of the caloric deficit is compensated for by extraction of fatty acids from fat. So what this means is that weight training is a very efficient, if not the most efficient way to burn body fat in a caloric deficit. Now, what sorts of weight training? Well, in this study, they used high load resistance overload in the range of somewhere between 75 and 85% of 1 rep maximum. Essentially show with these molecular details is that if you want to burn body fat, resistance training is not only very effective because it can maintain or increase muscle size, which then will maintain or increase metabolism to some degree, but also that it can cause the direct effect of muscle triggering the fat cell to be more susceptible for burning.